Hey guys, I want to do a video about something that I normally don't talk about, and that is the occult. I've not really made a video on this topic because I know a lot of people have already done videos about the occult, about the Satanism and hidden, you know, Satanistic things in the music industry and in media, but I have never made a video about those things, and I wanted to have at least one. I might do a second one if I don't like the way this one turns out, but I'll leave that up to later after I review this. I'm going to probably put it up, and if I think I need to do another one, I will. But I've not made one, and I don't have any of that on my channel. I normally don't want to focus on those things, and this might not appeal to a lot of you that watch my channel, but I wanted to bring this up just in case, there's someone that that you want to show some of this to, because a lot of this information is hidden. It's not that it's really hidden. They're saying it out there, but if you're not paying attention, you will gloss over it. And that goes into the definition of occult, which is not revealed secret, not easily apprehended or understood. And that is part of the problem today, is a lot of people aren't paying attention. They're not watching what they're listening to. They're just putting it in the background, and I've talked about this when, people start listening to preachers online, and, or a preacher in a church. It doesn't have to be necessarily online. That people aren't paying attention to what the person's saying, and you really have to pay attention to the little nuances and things that people say, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if a lot of the time you will be able to tell what someone believes by what they say, given a long enough time listening to them. And that's the biggest way to determine who could be a wolves in sheep's clothing. I see so many videos about that, and they get it wrong. They see somebody make a mistake and they automatically just throw them out, and that's a totally different topic. But the occult is basically something that is not revealed, not easily apprehended or understood. Alright, I want to move on and talk about open Satanism. This is Lucifer. This is a TV show. I've never watched it. I've heard even people that I know say they like the show. I've never watched it. I don't want to watch it, but it's openly glorifying Satan. We have more grotesque forms of that. I'm going to get to that in just a second, and I'm not going to play some of these music videos because they are, for one, I don't want to get in any trouble with a copyright or anything, but also they're just too vulgar for me to play. And if you want to go watch them, you can, but there's nothing to be really gathered from them. Anyway, this right here, I've never really watched the show, but it's just an openly glorifying, bringing praise and attention to Lucifer, whether they even intended that or not. A lot of the times I think they do intend these things, but they try to do it in a way that they can have plausible deniability, like, no, we really didn't mean to, make Lucifer look good or bad or whatever, but they do. And I want to move on and show you that there is open Satanism, where this is a little bit less grotesque, but then you move over to here, and we've seen this recently. We've seen it in the past, too, of just openly satanic performances in the music industry. And I don't want to scroll down too far through here because I haven't actually looked, and there could be something more grotesque down through there, and I don't want to show that on here. But we have recently seen, was it at the Grammys, or where was it, that Sam Smith performed? And I didn't really watch any of this. I just seen in the news feed people reporting how he just was doing openly satanic performances, and I seen little clips of it. But anyway, I don't remember if it was at the Grammys or at something. Yeah, it's at the Grammys. Satanism on display at the Grammys. So, we already knew this, a lot of us that are Christians, and people that are, kind of walking through the world that don't keep track of all of this, they might not be even aware of what happened at the Grammys. They might just like this person's music and not even, watch him, his music videos. And you need to be aware of that. And if you know anyone like that, just point this stuff out to them. It's really scary, some of the lyrics that are going to be said, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. It's really scary what some of these lyrics are. And I want to bring up a point about that in just a minute about, anyway, I'll get to that in just a minute. But if you know someone like that who's a fan of some of these people, but they don't actually pay attention to what they're doing, they might listen but not watch, bring some of these music videos, bring some of these articles, show them my video, and show them what they're doing. We know it's not just Sam Smith. It's open, Satanism has happened and was going on before then. We knew Little Moss X, and I don't want to get into what he did, but you can look that up if you're actually interested. All right, I want to move on. And just for more examples of openly satanic things, you can go over here to the Dojo Cat, which is the Paint the Town Red. I'm not going to play any of this because it gets pretty bad. Yeah, I'm not even going to show it through the timeline here, but this is just more examples of open Satanism. If you want to go watch this, I recommend you not, but you can. I'm going to probably play some of these others. I might show more through the timeline. I might not even play them. But this right here is just more examples of open Satanism in the music industry. And I could pull up more if I wanted to. A lot of people say this is just representing, this is just art. They're not serious. Well, like I said earlier, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is it? I think that's how it's quoted. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. All right, I'm going to move on. I've got the open Satanism out of the way. Most people are aware of that. They get repulsed by that. But then we started to get into what I was talking about, the occult, the hidden mystery religions, the secret knowledge. And this is something also in the music industry. And it's these people right here are trying to maintain more of a PG or a PG-13 rating, some of them. They're trying not to lose a viewer base that, normally wouldn't be interested in all of this or all of this. So this is Owl Nation. This is an older song, but I just wanted to point out some of the symbolism in this song and show you that this is basically Luciferianism just hidden. And I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to show you have the crow, which is a symbolism of... It's not necessarily of Satan, but it's a symbolism of something dark or bad coming. And that you could argue that this is part of the lyrics, but it goes into the song, but then you keep going, and you get a entity walking out of the water, and he's holding a lantern with a weird-looking light. So a lot of this goes down to and comes back to what they believe. They believe, and I'm trying to find a good image of him standing there. That's not it. Sorry about this. I should have put some timestamps so I would know exactly where. So at a minute, you see out of the water a dark hooded figure with a space helmet on, walks out carrying a lantern. So this is a representation of Lucifer, the Promethean fire, the what they believe is that Lucifer gave us consciousness, the Promethean fire, and this is his space helmet. He comes from out of this world, but he's a dark figure, and he's darkly hooded. It's an example of Satan. You also see in this same video, and I just showed a clip, and that's not a great image, but there's some mermaid swimming around, which is also a nod to what happened pre-flood with the mixing of human, angel, and giants and chimeras and stuff like that. If you're just brand new to this and you don't know about any of this, I recommend you looking up some of Trey Smith's and God in a Nutshell's videos about the pre-flood and about Genesis 6. You should look up about Genesis 6. There'll be a lot of people that'll tell you that was the sons of Seth and not angels coming down, but they're just wrong about that. And I should probably make a video directly about that at some point, proving that that's not true. There's scriptures that prove that it's not the sons of Seth, that it was fallen angels that came down before the flood. Anyway, this is just a full nod to basically Lucifer. They call him the Star Child, and as he gets over to here, you see it is a space helmet. It's not any, some people have tried to say that this is a deep dive helmet, but it's not. It's a space helmet. He gets to a certain point, and takes the helmet off, and you get a dark hooded figure with the light. So what does that make you think? I mean, what makes me really upset is that this is what, in my testimony, the thing that stood above me. If you've ever watched my testimony, I recommend you going back and watching part of it, and this is exactly what the thing looked like that was standing above me. So I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know more about that, go watch my testimony. Anyway, so that is just an example of hidden occult knowledge. Obviously, this one isn't that hidden. If it's kind of obvious that what's going on here if you've studied it all. But some people would still not understand what the guys what they're talking about. And Some of the other things they've said and done, and I could get into that, but I didn't want to pull up all Owl Nation videos. It's just their belief is basically the hidden mystery religions, I believe, from a Greek perspective, and yeah, I could get into that later if I wanted to do a video based just on this band. Anyway, I want to move on to more hidden occult knowledge. Like I said, some of it isn't that hidden. Some of it, I could go into more of the Weeknd songs, which I have right here. He is probably the worst for actually putting hidden symbolisms in his videos. He's got another one that was horrible, absolutely just filled with occult, secret, hidden knowledge. It's not really that secret. Most of the secret to the secret knowledge is that it's not secret. And this one right here, it starts off basically him singing, and there's people in stone, and then you see the planets align, which goes into basically some of the occult ideas of ages changing. You get a entity falling to Earth or descending to Earth. I don't know if it's falling. I can't actually find the timestamp. I don't know why it's not. There we go. So this is falling to Earth. It falls down to Earth like an angel of light, appears. This is the entity. You see the cosmos, the stars, they dance. And then what you see is a total eclipse right here happening. I'm not going to play this because I don't want to get any, copyright strikes or any problems with this video. But you can go and listen to this song. I mean, this one isn't as vulgar as the Dojo Cat one or anything like that. You'd probably be fine listening to this if you wanted to see what I'm talking about. Anyway, after the sun is darkened, you see all of them turn to stone. And some of this, I'm not exactly 100% sure of all the symbolism, but it's very weird that when the sun's darkened, it seems like judgment comes. And when you add it to I Feel It Coming, it makes it really weird. But then what gets me is after they're turned to stone, after the woman, or the so-called woman, I believe, is a representation of Lucifer, because after she's turned to stone, out crawls a snake, and it's hard to show right here. So she turns to stone, falls down, breaks, and a snake crawls out from underneath her. And he's reaching for the snake like he's in love with the snake, which is disturbing. And it's a deep black snake, and he turns into stone then. So they're all judged. Apparently, they're all turned into stone or ash or something like that. Maybe they're all ash, referring to the second judgment of fire instead of water that will be coming. You can see it here. And then I guess it's ash. They crumble like ash. I don't think you'd like. It kind of looks like snow, but you wouldn't turn into snow. That's weird. Anyway, you have then space people come, and I don't know what this is really representing to. It could be a throwback or a throw forward. I'm not exactly sure what that represents. But here's the picture of the snake that crawls away from the person that descended down like a ball of light and started dancing with him. As you can see right here, there's the woman. And it's my firm belief that Lucifer is more feminine than masculine. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, I'm going to move on from this one. I'm going to go into some more that are outright and probably bigger songs. The Weeknd, like I said, he's got some other songs they don't have a lot of occult symbolism, some of his biggest ones, but some of the other ones do, and some of them are even worse than that, but I didn't feel like there's so much in those. I didn't feel like going over it and like trying to decipher everything because it's just way too much. It's like literally he just spelled out everything that whatever his secret society, whatever his secret cult that he belongs to believes, he put it all in that one music video. Anyway, this is another one, and I didn't even know that she had made a song named this, but I was actually researching through Trey Smith's some of the videos he was making. And if you don't know who Trey Smith is, he's Trey Smith, God in a Nutshell. You can go look up his YouTube page, and he makes some pretty good videos. Some of it I disagree with, but some of it I think he's right on. But I didn't even know this. He was talking about how in Babylon they had a minor deity called Gaga. So I was trying to look up, that made me think of Lady Gaga, but I didn't really think that much about it. I was just trying to look up that deity because I'd never heard of that. And then I pulled up this, which there is a deity. It was a supposed lesser female deity in Babylon called Gaga. And anyway, but when I typed in Babylon Lady Gaga, I just typed in Babylon Gaga, and I got this, which is Lady Gaga Babylon, which is another throwback to their ancient mystery religions, which goes back into Luciferian Satan worship in the very end, fallen angel worship, the worship of demons, the worship of angels, as Paul says. Anyway, these are the lyrics, and I'm not going to go through and play this song, but I'm just going to show you some of the lyrics in this song just to show you it's just a direct attack on Christianity, on God, on Jesus Christ. So right here it says, we can party, like just some of the lyrics I wanted to point out. You can go look these up yourself, but just, you can serve it to me, ancient style city. We can party like it's BC with a pretty 16th century smile. So basically saying we can party like it's before Christ, which we know that the world was, lost and horrible in sin, probably even worse than it was today, back then, with no hope outside of Christ. I mean, they still had faith, but that were still saved by faith, but the rest of the world was without that hope, without that knowledge, and yeah, that's pretty bad. But then it goes on and it gets worse down here. It says, bodies moving like a sculpture on top of the Tower of Babel tonight. We're climbing up to heaven. I mean, just, this is open, mockery of God, open, basically demon worship or Satanism, Luciferianism, mocking God and just saying some of the most disturbing things. And Lady Gaga is the one, and you can look this up, that her manager said that she had to sleep with her in the same bed because she was too afraid to sleep alone, that she was getting paranormally attacked, something that I personally had gone through. So I know what that's like, and these people are communing with the wrong side, with wrong spirits. I mean, you don't come up with a name like that and sing these lyrics operating under the Holy Spirit. You just don't do that. That just doesn't happen. So we know what kind of spirit they're operating under. Until really today, I didn't even know she came out with this song, and it's right in your face, and this is what little children are singing. These are popular musicians. Like Lady Gaga was the biggest musician in the world for like how long? Right here, Katy Perry's and Kanye West's music video. Most of what Kanye West says you can skip over if you want to watch this. I'm probably going to pull it up and show you some of what I'm talking about too, because there's some stuff at the end that explains that or shows that how satanic this actually is. How I don't even want to use this word satanic because it's not really worship of Satan, even though Satan and Lucifer are the same thing. It's worship of Lucifer, which is, they view it in a different way. It's not vulgar in like blood and guts like a lot of these rockers used to do. It's more of this hidden, like it's actually probably worse because it's romanticizing almost the Satan and or Lucifer, and it's pretty bad. I'm gonna go and pull up the full lyrics, and I was listening to one person a long time ago, and I could not find the video, was reviewing this song. He was a Christian, and he was reviewing this song, and he was saying that this was one of the most demonic and evil songs he had ever heard in his entire life. And he says the problem was this was one of the most popular songs in 2010 or whatever, in 2011, and that little girls were singing this, little boys probably too, and little girls were singing this song while they drove down the road or while they were in their rooms. And I'm not going to read the lyrics out loud. You can go through and read them yourself. But imagine little kids singing this. And, out of the, it's like life and death comes from the power of the tongue. Life and death comes from what, it was the Lord who spoke the world to everything into existence. And our words have an impact. And when you start, this is almost like pseudo giving permission for evil spirits to enter when you start to read these things. You understand? When you start, like, it's literally asking to be possessed is what this is. And this is what Katy Perry did. It's just, it's literally the most satanic. There's some that are more openly satanic, but this is like the most and the worst one in my opinion, because it's hidden, but it's also getting you to invite these entities or evil spirits or demons in. And I'm going to actually pull up the music video, and I'm not going to play it. I'm going to skip past the first part because that's got Kanye West. But I want to get into showing you, it's not only in the lyrics, it's in the music video where you see the fall of Lucifer, who's portrayed as a gray-looking alien. But then as it falls, it turns into Katy Perry, which is a more feminine-looking weirdo. I don't know what the heck, I don't know what the heck you would call that, but yeah. Anyway, an alien. And it shape shifts as it goes down, changes color, like an angel of light. As Lucifer falls, you start seeing little images, like flickered images up here of just animals dying. I'm actually going to mute it and just play that. Maybe I can go back and see if I can get that. I'm not going to play the... See? Animals dying. Animals dying. I mean, it just shows animals dying. Once I don't want to call it she, because it's a representation of Lucifer, gets to Earth, it finds it completely destroyed. And then she walks over here and finds a robot, which then she walks over here and does something like touches it, which is a representation of the old and new coming together. Basically, this is the old fall to Earth of Lucifer, the hybrid, and I'll get to that in a second. She touches it. Out comes a artificial intelligent creature, the Promethean fire, supposedly, right? The giving the intelligence to the artificial robot, which then you see right here more symbolism. Sorry, I can't get it paused. You see more symbolism. It says pigeon, a common bird, went extinct 2030. Well, this was back in 2010, so what do they think is going to happen in 20 years? I don't know. I thought that was interesting when I seen that. I didn't notice that a long time ago. I noticed that more recently when I went back to watch this. She puts on the shades, and then you get a reveal of that she's a hybrid, which is, like I said, it's a marriage between, and I'm sorry for showing that, but it's a marriage between the old and the new. They believe that in the past there were hybrids. Let me try to get that off the screen. I'm sorry about that, but in the past they believed they were the hybrids. It's a marriage of the old world, of the pre-flood, and the beginning and the end, which it will be synthetic AI, robot technology. I believe the image of the beast will be a robot, like something like that. The image of the beast. It's just like when in the Bible, when it says don't make a graven image, they're talking usually about a statue. Idols were considered like that. They were statues of different things, and it says the beast will make an image to himself and give it the ability to speak, which that sounds like artificial intelligence to me. Sounds like robotics, artificial intelligence. But yeah, it's a marriage between the old and the new, and they're forecasting a destruction of the planet. This is supposed to take place after 2030, and everything is destroyed. You see, bits of pieces of metal laying everywhere. These artifacts they're supposed to be artifacts. It says human sunglasses circa 2011. So you see like the foretelling, it's the telling of the past, not with Kanye West, but the telling of the past with the fall of Lucifer into the death of the animals when Lucifer came down, into the new beginning where Lucifer comes again and basically infects a robot, making artificial intelligence. It's literally the most Luciferian satanic thing I've ever seen, and combined with the lyrics, it basically proves that point. All right. Basically, to sum it all up, the secret to the secret mystery religion is what Lucifer said in the very beginning, which is, you shall be like God. That is their secret, that they think that they will become like God. They think through some whatever means or through transhumanism, they will become like God. And that is basically the hidden knowledge that they really don't want to share. They think that through some rituals or through some form of technology that they will live forever. I wanted to bring up this, and I'm going to actually play this. This is Yuval Noah Harari, and some of you might have heard of this guy already. He's part of the World Economic Forum group. He has talked at TED Talks. He's wrote books. He's, I guess, done lectures at Stanford. He's done things for the New York Times. He speaks at the World Economic Forum and at Davos. So this guy isn't just some quack. This dude is, I mean, obviously he's a quack, but he's not some just random, person in a trailer saying these things. This dude is walking and talking and communicating with some of the elites and richest people on the face of the earth. And this is what he says. So when you tie this into this and the robot, you're going to see what they believe and how it kind of goes into the last point I'm going to bring up with the scriptures right here. But I wanted to play this think about right here.
As in the literal sense that for thousands of years, humans have imagined gods in a particular way. They ascribed particular abilities and qualities to gods. And we are here in a church, and the walls are full of these descriptions of what God can do. And we are now seriously in the business of acquiring these traditional divine abilities and qualities to ourselves. Whether it's trying to overcome death and gain immortality, or whether it's gaining the ability to create and design life according to our wishes. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, basically the first thing God does is to create animals and plants and humans according to his wishes. We are now trying to gain this divine ability to ourselves. It's very likely that in the 21st century, the main products, the most important products of the human economy will no longer be just vehicles and textiles and food and weapons. The main products will be bodies and brains and minds. And in a way, we are even reaching beyond what ancient religions ascribed to the gods. Because the gods, like Jehovah in the Bible, they could create only organic beings. If you're a creationist and you look at the world, so all these animals...
All right. That's about all we need to hear. The point I'm trying to make is this is basically the lie from the very beginning. There's nothing new under the sun, and everything repeats itself. The same lie that was given to Adam and Eve is being sold, and he is selling to people. He's selling the satanic lie. These people here believe the satanic lie. They've bought into it as well. This is why they completely reject God. They worship Lucifer. They think that they will be able to eat that fruit, love evil. They think that they will be able to cozy up and be intimate with evil and, like he said, live eternally. But we know from Matthew 15:25 that's not true. So I'm going to read Matthew 16:25. I said 15, I think. Matthew 16:25. We know that all of that is just not going to happen, and they were warned. So here's Matthew 16:25. I'm going to read it in the New King James. It says, For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. And that's a simple verse right here in the context. It goes on, but it says, what will it profit if a man gains the whole world yet forfeits his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? So these people, they think they're going to inherit the entire world. They think they're going to go beyond it. They've already inherited the entire world. Most of these people, like Katy Perry here, she's already inherited millions upon millions, probably $100 million. She's probably worth $100 million. I don't know what she's worth, but she's worth multi-millions. All of these people are probably worth millions. They've inherited, they could have anything that they want to in this world. and that's not good enough for them. All the possessions they have, all the fame they have, that's not good enough. They want the eternal life. They want to go beyond and be God. They want to be like God. But we know through multiple different sources that will not end well for them. Alright guys, I hope some of this wasn't too disturbing. I didn't mean to show this dude's butt here. I forgot that it had that in there. I'm sorry about that, but I hope no one cares too much. Sorry. But yeah, that's basically it. I might do another video about this and go more in depth because, like I said, there is hidden occult, and it's not just this guy here, Yuval Harari. Sorry, I always keep calling him Uvari, but it's Yuval Harari. I keep mixing the two together. But it's not just these people. There's, other people that you wouldn't think of, businessmen and politicians that are believe in these things as well. People like him, I consider him a false prophet where he sells these visions to other people, like people in the music industry, like people like politicians, and then get them to do things they normally wouldn't do, believing in this lie that they shall be like God, that they shall live forever. And, you can live forever, but not in this corrupted body, because that means sin would be prevalent forever, and we know that's not going to happen, and God's not going to allow that. Alright guys, I hope that helped. Leave a comment in below, like if you would like. God bless and take care.